What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! The Early Days Collection. This is a game that I think we've talked about once before. Got announced not too long ago, but coming out this upcoming February, I think February 27th, on Steam and on the Switch. Switch, you can get it physically as well. It's probably what I'm going to do. And on their website, they have a list of the games so far, right? They've announced a couple of them, and we'll go over those. But somebody got their hands on, I believe, like the full-on display case. And on the back, I believe it lists all of them. I saw a picture going around on Twitter, and we're going to read on Reddit the entire list. And, some fan favorites are not there, but I do think, and this could just be like copium, but I do think there's a plan in place from Konami, and I do think we're eventually going to get the games that are missing from this collection. There's a theme, and I'll say it right now, the theme of this collection is handheld, right? You're talking about Game Boy and things of that era, early days, right? But you're talking about the handheld games and probably strictly, actually, no, not probably, just strictly handheld stuff. So, like the Duelist of the Roses, which is in my opinion, the best one. I remember playing that as a kid growing up. That one is not here, as well as any place, if you can think of like the early PlayStation ones, those are not there either. I personally think those are going to be in a collection all on its own, or maybe they can do like remasters to them depending on how these games sell. But let's go over what we knew so far, and then we'll go over the full list. So again, on their own website, you got Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, Duel Monsters 2, Dark Duel Stories, Duel Monsters 4, The Eternal Duelist Soul, Duel Monsters 6, The Sacred Cards, and Reshift of Destruction. And okay, then if you go on the Reddit page, you can see all 14 games: Duel Monsters 2, Monster Capsule, Dark Duel Stories, Duel Monsters 4, Dungeon Dice Monsters, The Eternal Duelist Soul, Duel Monsters 6, The Sacred Cards, Reshift of Destruction, Worldwide Edition, Stairway to the Destined Duel, World Championship Tournament 2004, Destiny Board Traveler, 7 Trials to Glory, World Championship Tournament 2005. And that's quite a list. It's actually a lot of words. Now, I feel like I've only played a couple of these games. Growing up, I did have a Game Boy. I got the DS after. My earliest days with Game Boy or any early Nintendo products, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, and then the Stray game here and there. I probably did have a Yu-Gi-Oh game, because I do remember playing more than one of them. But I was through and through, I was a console guy. Even growing up, console kid. Crash Bash, Crash Team Racing at 5 years old and whatnot. So I don't know how many of these games I've actually played. Probably very, very few. Look, there's still value to this thing to me. Okay, there absolutely is. You're getting one of these ultimate kind of collections, and I'm at the point in my life, right? And I've talked about this so much with the preservation. At this point, I don't really care about the quality so much of these ports, so much as I didn't even know half those games existed. Okay, so putting those games all together, whether you do get it physically or even if you don't, even if you get it digitally, you have such a collection. You have so many different games across years, across different consoles and whatnot, devices, and you're getting them all, in one go. And honestly, again, I do think this could be part 1 to a part 2. If you think about it, Konami's actually pretty okay doing this, or at least you can see a track record. They've done the Silent Hill ones in the past, Silent Hill on PS3. Now, that is a terrible collection in terms of the downgrading of it, at least specifically Silent Hill 2. But even look at Metal Gear, right? Well, they have that in the PS3 gen as well. But you look to now, they're doing the Master Collection Volume 1. And they've definitely made enough statements where Metal Gear 4, I think, is finally breaking free of the PS3 shackles, as well as Peace Walker and other things. So, I do believe they're doing multiple, volumes. And considering you call it Volume 1, I do think they would do it. For Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a little bit different because it's not Early Days Collection Volume 1. It's just Early Days Collection. But I do think you could just add a 2. Early Days Collection 2. Or whatever, Console Edition. And you have some of the missing games, some of the better games. Again, the ones that I remember are on console. That's just my own personal bias. I do think we'll get that game, or at least we should. Even if we don't, we deserve it. We really do. I've seen this game, by the way, multiple times. Duelist of the Roses. I've seen that game specifically multiple times at stores. Retro stores. I've never bought it physically. I really, really need to add that to my collection. I don't think I have a single Yu-Gi-Oh game in the collection. That's going to change at one. Maybe for my birthday, I'll buy a couple Yu-Gi-Oh games. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.